What's going on, fellow engineers? In this video, I'm going to do some updates to the traffic light. I noticed that in the coding that I did for the steady on and steady off, I did not give an option to do a combination of the colors. And so as a result, I can't do red and yellow or red and green. I just can only do one or the other. But I ran into a situation where, hey, maybe I want to do a combination of the colors to kind of use the traffic light for maybe a ambiance, background lighting setting, or something of that nature. So I'm going to add the additional color combinations in the steady on or off selector here. So I'm going to show you how I'm going to do it, and we'll cover a little bit of HTML as well as some Python in the process. So without further ado, let's get into it. All right, so as I mentioned, I want to be able to do like color combinations that stay steady on or off. So I want to be able to do like red and yellow, red and green, yellow and green, and so forth. So what I'm going to do is add these to the action selection as well as do some coding in Python to support that particular functionality. So I already have my server pulled up. So let me go ahead and go into the HTML first. So I'm going to go into web and just edit this index file. And if you've never looked at any of this code before, all of this is available on my GitHub repository. The link to that will be down in the description below. All right, so we have an option group of steady on and off. We'll do option value and call it red, yellow on, just for the sake of simplicity, following the other values that already exist here. And I'm going to do a PHP post variable and action red, yellow on. And going to red, yellow on is the value. Then I'm going to print selected and if not, it's going to do false and return that. And we're going to say red, yellow on. That's the option value for that one. All right, and hopefully I'm doing the syntax correctly because it's kind of difficult to see, in my opinion, with it wrapping like it is on the screen. So I got red, yellow on. Also need to do yellow, green, and red, yellow. Is that correct? No, I got red, yellow. I need red, green, and yellow, green. All right, so I believe I have all of my color combinations. So I have red, red with yellow, and then also have red with green down here. And then I have yellow, yellow with red, which is this one, and yellow with green, which is this one. And then I have green and green with yellow, which is this, and green with red, which is this. All right, so I have all of the color combinations to do a steady on. So now that I've updated the HTML, if I come back to this page, and I don't know why it wants to do that. Let me put the HTTP in front of it. Looks like there's an issue. All right, so let's see what else may be going on. Perhaps I have a syntax error, is what I'm thinking. I'll go into Apache 2 and do the tail of the error log. And so I have an unexpected string on line 81. Okay, so that's why that page is not coming up. PHP is not handling it correctly. So I need to go back to my home directory, web, and vi, that file. We're going to jump down to line 81. So Looks like I may have missed something somewhere. Let's see if Nano will do syntax highlighting for us. Ah, there we go. Alright, so need to come down to here. And looks like I forgot to close a quote somewhere, because this option group thing is kind of highlighted when I don't think it should be. That's the wrong one. Okay. Alright, so we got, which line is 81? Alright, so this is 81. Red selected equals selected, quote, and then otherwise false, yellow on. Not seeing where the error is. So if I comment this out, all right, and then I come back here and no. All right, so let's see what else is going on. Do FG1. Still complaining about line 81, which I don't quite understand why is it doing so. All right, FG2. It may be complaining about the wrong line, because I'm using the correct values here. Selected equals selected. Ah, here we go. So I forgot my closing single quote there on that line. So the second selected, which is interesting, it didn't highlight the rest of the line. I think if I had been using like Visual Studio Code or Notepad++ or some other text editor, it probably would have better highlighted that. All right, so if I go back here and refresh, now we have our page working and we have our additional options available to be selected. All right, cool. So the next thing is to close that. And now that we've diagnosed that error, I can close out of this Apache file, actually. All right, so going back, go back up to the Raspberry Pi, or the Raspberry Traffic Python file. And so in here, we need to find the while loop, because there's a while loop in here that reads the file. Got party mode, flash green, flash yellow, flash red. Here we go. All right. So what I did was create a bunch of if conditions and have a function that calls the all on for each. And so what I'm gonna do is go ahead and add these if conditions that I will need. So if selection equals, you got red, yellow on, and then we do red and yellow on. And then I also have, actually, let me open this in Nano, because I have a feeling I'm going to make a lot of typos in here if I don't. And that's because of how the VI works on some systems compared to others. All right, so I did red and yellow on. All right, I need a yellow green. Whoops. And that's yellow and green on. Then I also need a spell it correct. Need green, red on. And so if I have not mentioned already, this is the Python file that controls the actual actions of the traffic light. And I'm gonna put all on for the moment. All right, so let me go back up to this all on function. That is somewhere in here. That is the pseudocode processor. All right. So I have the all on. So what I'm gonna do is now add those same things. So we'll do turn on the red and yellow lights. And then I'm gonna add more if conditions to this, and red, yellow, EV lights is lamp on, lamp off. And so to give a little bit more detail, so the EV light represents the traffic light. The original plan for this was to have two traffic lights that worked together and be able to be controlled by a single system. However, I didn't follow through with that idea after giving it more thought and realizing the amount of effort it required to have the two separate lights be able to communicate back and forth through each other. I may consider doing it again in the future, but as of right now, it's something that I've kind of taken off the table. So there was essentially supposed to be an eastbound light and a northbound light, and so the goal would be to have the two lights kind of resemble a intersection, and when going out and teaching how the traffic lights work, set them up in a typical like one-way street fashion, with one light technically being east and one light being west, and going from there as part of the demonstration. All right, and so green and all right, so this is the last condition that I need to add, green, red. And so you're probably wondering why I'm typing these variables in uppercase. I've defined them as constants in this code here. And so if you look at the code on the repository, you'll see what I mean. Green, and I think I need to use 2 line for this because the yellow's on. And I probably need to go back up here and do the same thing for that, because this LCD display that I had attached originally when I built it, it actually only takes 16 characters, and so that one needs to stay the same. That's fine. And so if you put more than 16 characters in there, it actually gets cut off. I haven't used the LCD, but I kept the code in here for the LCD just in case I wanted to reinstall it again in the future. All right, so I've added those additional conditions to the all on function. So if I come back down to where the others are, here we go. All right, so I'm gonna start from the top and work my way back down. So all on needs to have red, yellow here, and you got to get that right, otherwise it won't work. This one needs to have yellow, green, and last but not least, need green, red. All right, so if all is correct, I can exit now. Let's see. I have, so by default, this process starts up when the Pi starts up. And so what I'm going to do is I can do one of 2 ways. I'm thinking I'm gonna just go ahead and restart it instead of trying to kill it. That should clear any issues that I may face. In the worst case scenario, I have to do some more debugging to get it to do correctly. All right, the Pi has come back online. I'm going to go ahead and SSH in, and I brought it up on camera as well so that you can see it as I make the necessary runs. And so if I go back over to my browser and select the yellow we'll start with the red. May take a second. There we go. All right, so we got all reds on. And now we'll do red and yellow. There you go. And we'll do yellow and green. All right, and then we'll do green and red. All right, so it seems like the code additions that I've put in seem to work all good like they should. Just to do some regression testing right quick, we'll make sure that the single colors still work like they should. So the green works fine, as well as the yellow. And we'll do red one more time. All right, the red is working, and then we have all of them on, and then we have all of them off. So all of that looks great. And we'll just go ahead and leave it there for now. And sometimes I do use this traffic light for like some ambient lighting. You know, like when we have some friends over, you know, just have it on as like background lighting or whatnot. So this allows me greater flexibility in the colors that I can have on in a steady state. So hopefully you got a little bit out of this video. Again, the code is available on my GitHub repository. The link to the repository will be down in the description below. If you have any questions or you're interested in creating your own traffic light, please feel free to go ahead and do so and drop a link to it so I can provide, you know, some feedback on what you have done in the comments. If you have not already, be sure to subscribe by clicking the subscribe button below. And until next time, peace out.